In the solar system, everything is perpetually falling into a bottomless pit. I hope you don't still live on a globe in space. It is being swallowed up into the abyss. Don't believe the lie.
And that's why you need a rocket to get into orbit. You need to get yourself going so fast that as you fall back towards Earth, you keep missing it. So the astronauts are not weightless because there's no gravity in space. The astronauts are falling, the same way a skydiver is falling freely through space. It's just that they're going so fast, they keep missing the Earth. They are all the time falling towards the Earth, going fast enough that they keep missing it. Everything that's in orbit around anything else is doing the same thing. Right now, you and I are falling freely towards the sun, but the Earth is moving actually at about 30,000 miles an hour, and we keep missing the sun as we go around it, and that means we're in orbit around the sun. The moon is in orbit around the Earth. It's falling towards the Earth. What's going on with the astronauts?
The only difference with our spaceship up above is that everything is falling, but also traveling at great speed relative to the planet below so that it never hits the surface. It's essentially falling around the planet in its orbit forever.
Don't float around on the orbiter because there is no gravity. We still feel Earth's gravity. So why are we floating? Because we're falling. Let's say the string is gravity. And let's say this apple is like a spaceship orbiting the Earth. You see, it's gravity and our speed that keeps us in orbit. Without gravity, we would fly off into space and never come back.
Here's another example. When I drop this apple on Earth, it falls. When I drop an apple here on the space shuttle, it falls too. It just doesn't look like it's falling. And that's because we're all falling together. The apple, me, and the orbiter. But we're not falling towards the Earth, we're falling around it. Let's imagine that we can send Bruce down to the nearest elevator on Earth. The elevator is going to the top of a very tall building. Suddenly, when he reaches the top, the cable breaks, and the elevator car with Bruce in it begins to fall. What will happen inside the elevator? Well, since he's falling, and the elevator is falling at the same rate, he starts to float. His body isn't pushing on the inside of the elevator anymore. He has no weight. He's weightless. If he had an apple with him, it would float too, just like the one in the orbiter, because Bruce, the apple, and the elevator would all be falling together. It'd be a fun ride until he hit the bottom.
Science News Network. Doesn't this look fun? Do you wonder why astronauts float inside the space shuttle? They're not really floating, but falling. Astronauts are falling towards the Earth and feel almost weightless. This is called free fall. It's the same feeling you get when you travel in an elevator that starts to go down really fast. You feel like you're weightless for an instant because you and the elevator are falling together.
Perks of being an astronaut is the ability to experience weightlessness for days on end. But why does this happen? It may seem that the reason for this phenomena is that the effect of gravity is greatly decreased when in space. But that simply is not true, as evidenced by the moon's orbit around us and our orbit around the sun. In fact, the force of gravity on an astronaut in orbit is about 90% of what it is for the same person standing on the surface. So why is it all this happens? Simple. The astronauts are in a state of continuous freefall, exactly like what happens for brief amounts of time after going over the crest of a roller coaster. The astronauts in the spacecraft are being acted upon predominantly by gravity as they fall, which gives the feeling of weightlessness. So then, why is it that a spacecraft keeps on falling? Speed, and just the right amount of it. Too little and you crash into the ground. Too much and you drift off into space.